All right. Well, let's introduce our guests in studio. We have the ladies, I guess, from the Rose Club. So,
what's up?
Michelle Tierney.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Jess. What's your last name?
Harper.
That's right. Harper.
Yep.
I knew that. Jess Harper. All right. So let's jump into the Rose Club, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Michelle Tierney, what do you call your position with the Rose Club?
I would say,
organizer in chief.
Founder, organizer.
Okay.
Yeah, bossy person. Any of the above.
Not too bossy.
If you catch me on a good day. Yeah.
What is the Rose Club?
So the Rose Club, it's a female-focused skate and snowboard community based here in Utah.
Okay.
We're female-focused, but we're actually open to anyone and everyone who wants to join us. We have a lot of dudes who like to come skate with us, who feel more
Okay, this is great already. Mm-hmm. That was Alex's question. From the get-go was, I don't think I'm invited. So...
Alex,
I'm just going off of what you put on Instagram.
We want you there. We want you there. Come on by.
Although it is very hard to skate in cowboy boots.
That's true.
This
is true.
Yeah, you might have to switch those up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so Alex does have cowboy boots on. It is hard to skate in cowboy boots. Although snowboarding, maybe you might be able to pull off a little better.
I think
so. That sounds very natural. Setting up a snowboard and skate community because you are a golfer.
Yep.
From Ireland.
Yep, it all makes sense. It's exactly what you would think, right?
So how the hell did that happen?
Long story. So I'm from Ireland. I moved over here in 2013. Kind of came over sight unseen. Emailed a bunch of golf coaches because I heard somebody else had done it in my hometown and was like,
and by over here, you mean to the States?
Yeah.
Did you come
America.
to Ogden first?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually ended up in this small town called Claremore, Oklahoma.
Everything is okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was my dad, we flew over on the flight. My dad dropped me off and then left me. And then I was like, oh, shit, we're really doing this. This is America. And, yeah, it was definitely a lot different than what I'd seen in the movies. Yeah. It was wild. It was really wild, but I loved it. Like I really had a great time. And then ended up I transferred schools, ended up coming to Weber State, and then spent a few years in college there.
But you're in nowhere, Oklahoma.
Yes.
From Ireland. Mm-hmm. How the hell did you find Weber State?
So I was dating a guy back in college, and he was from Ogden, and I was looking for colleges, and I was like,
Alex, we're all over.
Yeah.
That's Ogden people.
Oh, I know.
You can't get away from them.
No, she's got a great story. I love it.
Yeah.
We were talking before.
Yeah. So, and then he was like, you should check out Weber State. It's a good college. I know the coach. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a go.
The golf coach.
The golf coach, yep, at Weber, Smitty. He's like a Ogden legend.
Yeah.
But, and then ended up getting a full ride to Weber. Played there for 4 years. And then that relationship didn't work out. But then I eventually found my husband, who's the manager at Crossroads Skate Shop in Ogden, the local shop on 12th Street.
His name?
Austin Gum.
Okay. Austin's your husband?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Austin's my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, so then met Austin and kind of found myself getting into that world, which is kind of like my family are like, wait, what? Like you're skateboarding now?
Okay,
like,
so
yeah.
Is there any correlation between those sports?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, not even in the slightest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because like watching Michelle do any sport, it's clear that athleticism translates to everything that she does.
I would agree with that. She's athletic for sure, right?
I'm flattered.
Yeah. I did watch the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
And mostly with the sound off, because the shots from Pebble Beach over the ocean and the greens is like the most beautiful thing you'll ever see.
Insane.
It's wild.
Beautiful.
Did you have ambitions of doing something like that, or you just knew like college is where it's at and I'll get myself through college and that's it with golf?
Yeah, I didn't really have like too much planning like with the golf. I just said, yeah, I'll do the 5 years. We'll see how it goes. And see where I end up. I think when I was in college, I was like, I could see myself living in America. Like, I really like it here. It's a good lifestyle. Love Ireland. The one thing I do miss a lot about Ireland is the food. Like, I cannot.
What?
What's your favorite Irish dish?
Just like straight up potatoes. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
We suck at potatoes here, Alex. What are we doing?
Talking about? They got potatoes everywhere.
It's just not the same. I know. But I like my favorite go-to dish that like I had like most days growing up is just like meat, potatoes, and gravy. But like good, it's different gravy than.
Are we missing something?
I think we're doing
Because
something wrong.
I feel
I
like
don't know
that
what
is
to
the
do.
American West
I don't
in America.
It's different. It's different. It's just like the meat's different over here.
It's better.
Yeah,
It's better.
it's not
Alex only
quite
eats
as
bison, apparently. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm like I need to go to your butcher because.
Just
But
saying.
that's the thing. I can't find a good butcher here. I just like I haven't seen really any butchers out here.
You could say butcher all night because that was fantastic.
Yeah,
Is there any way to
butchers
lower your microphone?
Maybe.
Because it's blocking your face, and I don't like that very much. But my only tie to Ireland is that my daughter is in Irish dance and crushing it.
No way.
There's not very many studios around here that teach it. There's only one. The one that I know of is in Layton, and it's Lorraine's Dance Unlimited.
No
She's
way.
like 105 years old. We love Lorraine. She is getting up there though, and she
Shout out Lorraine.
She crushes it, and she crushes dreams too because she's very hardcore.
that.
But she
Respect.
teaches Irish. Yeah, she teaches Irish culture, and so
No way.
my daughter performs every year at a couple different places. But I mean, we're just creeping up on that time of year where we do the
Yeah.
Irish celebrations here
Coming.
at Piers Egyptian Theatre. And so she performs in that, and that will actually be on St. Patrick's Day this year. And then she does do a performance in the spring at the Ogden Nature Center where she dances. And she's now in Celtic Beat is like the top group. Junior Celtic was the kids group, and she just graduated from junior.
She's in the big leagues.
Now she's in the big. Her and her two friends they're all the same age, and they're like the youngest of the big leagues. And so we'll see how that goes.
So
That's rad.
This might be like stereotyping or something, but like I'm like thinking of like river dancing, Irish river. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
You've seen,
Like
you've
clogs,
seen me
right?
Yeah.
No clogs. I don't know what the clogs.
They have
They
Tap
clogs?
shoes.
They have two different dances: soft shoes and hard shoes. The soft shoes is like
We were talking like tap shoes.
the
Yeah.
tap shoes are like boots, kind of with the tappy things on the bottom.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and they make loud noise, like a clog. Kind
Yeah.
Did
I'm
you say-
thinking like this, like, is it like those wooden clogs? Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's not
Okay.
the.
But you do this.
Well, I have in the past. Yeah, I have been known at a few
Everyone
parties
dabbles.
to bust
To
out a
what?
few moves. Yeah.
The
The time's right. Yeah.
You got to pay extra for that.
Yeah, well,
I'm wondering what it'll take before we leave because
Well,
Right
Brandon
in
said
here?
there was Jameson here, so
We do have Jameson
you
here.
never know.
Yeah.
Todd, how fast could you get here?
With the Jameson and Guinness, I can bring it all. We can bring it all.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna mic up the floor, and you're gonna.
I like it. Before the podcast is over, maybe.
Never know.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see.
never know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
Two,
Alex.
3
yeah.
Guinnesses, and I'll join in as well.
Hell yeah. I do. Yeah, one of the dances requires a partner, so if you're in,
I don't.
go.
Do you know Chase with friends with Tristan Bryden and?
Oh yeah,
Lucky Slice?
yeah.
Do you know he has a secret talent? He can clog like a mofo.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chase's-
whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, he can.
Chase is actually my partner.
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
her. Yeah,
Oh.
that's her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Didn't know. Is
Yep.
he in town?
he is in town.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
now.
For now.
Yeah.
I know he's always doing something.
Yeah.
Funny because I think I was talking to him about my daughter, and he was like, "Oh, I want to see something." And it was at like the, I think it was at the fundraiser, like the Ogden Avalanche fundraiser at the front, and he all of a sudden just, I think my daughter was there. That's why, and he just busts out these moves. I'm all, what is this?
Yeah, I'm
What
not
is
surprised
this?
at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
he has some
surprises
secret
there.
talents.
Yeah, he does.
I haven't seen it very much, but it is special when you.
How many
Yeah.
beers? Is this?
Not very many, I feel.
Yeah,
like.
really
I feel
not
like
very
he's
many.
kinda down.
Like less than one, probably.
Okay.
He's down.
Oh, yeah, I need to ask him about the clogging.
Yeah.
Todd, my only other reference to Ireland to make Michelle feel comfortable is you, because you actually went there and drank Guinness, and she said she could actually give tours for you.
Yeah,
Factory.
dude, let me know. Yeah, if anyone wants a tour of the whole country, I got you. Hit me up.
Done. Next time over, we'll do it.
Done.
I had a chance to stay over there for about a month or so, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Had a great time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's doing it right. I feel like it's hard sometimes when you're trying to cram it all in a week or 10 days, but That's awesome.
Do you go back very often?
we spent I think about 2 weeks in Dublin, and then we spent the rest of it just driving around.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Getting lost, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place to get lost in.
Alex,
Sure.
good question.
I'm just
And
curious.
it's a good place to drink Guinness. I do love Guinness. I want one right now.
Yeah, it's hard to get I feel like it's hard to get a good pint of Guinness out here. They're kind of different. Did you feel like they were different when you went to Ireland?
Oh, well, I had to wait like a full day because we flew into Shannon and then we went to I think it was the Guinness Jazz Festival the first night we were there in Cork. And
Yeah,
then,
that's
I waited
that's a big
almost
festival.
2 days.
Wow.
Oh, it
That's
was
impressive.
so fun. We saw a group called the Water Boys who I was just obsessed with. And
No, yeah, the Cork Jazz Festival is like a really big thing. I live in Waterford, which is like, an hour.
Yes, we
hour and
went
a half.
there.
Oh, really?
We even toured your
No
Crystal
way.
facility.
Yeah,
Yes, it
we
was
got
great.
the Crystal. That's for sure. That's
Oh,
our
it was
claim
so
to fame.
fun.
But yeah, my brother plays in the jazz festival every year. He's got a band and they play, but it's I haven't made it out to the jazz festival ever, and I need to go.
Well, I got you beat in that one.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive. I love it.
But I wanted my first pint to be at St. James Gate. So we waited. It was like 2 days before we were in Dublin. So it was torture.
Oh, wow.
It was torture to wait those 2 days because they pretty much want you to drink from the airport on as you get off of the
It's
plane.
a lot of pressure. Yeah.
You got a bit more willpower than I do. That's for sure.
The Uber driver's
was a
just
choice.
handing them to you. I guess.
It was a choice. But having my first pint on that 360-degree room above St. James Gate was worth every
It's
minute.
so
it was
good.
so good. It was like they just dipped it out of the Guinness River. It was
It's beautiful. I love that Guinness River.
It's like Willy Wonka in
That
the
shit
Guinness
is
factory.
good. Yeah, oh, seriously, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I brought like my husband and one of my friends over last Christmas with us, and I think we flew in at probably like 8 a.m. Irish time, and then we got a taxi straight to St. James's Gate, and we had Guinness, and it was great. It was like the best first touch point that I could have brought them to.
Breakfast.
I love it.
Yeah,
If you do have a chance, I just recently visited my brother who lives outside of DC, and I went to I think it's called Open Gate. It's in Baltimore. So it's their facility here in the States, and it's obviously not the same, but it was a nice little flashback. It's a nice facility they have.
Oh, that's
here as
awesome!
well.
I didn't even know that they had a place out here, so that's cool.
Just opened a few years ago, but it has this amazing, bar and tour, and it's this not the same, but it was lovely.
It's not the same. That's awesome.
Jess, I don't think we properly introduced you.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Who are you? What do you do for the Rose Club?
I'm Jess Harper. I'm from Ogden.
Yep.
Michelle and I actually
Like downtown Ogden, like Rodeo Grounds Ogden?
No, that's where I live currently.
Now.
But
Oh,
I grew
okay.
up west of Ogden.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, in Plain City. But I met Michelle on a gondola at Snow Basin.
Yep.
Austin and Chase are friends, and so they kind of introduced us. Michelle was on skis at the time, so
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Oh, really?
she was on
Okay.
skis.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
No.
I mean,
I still ski every now and
that's
then.
not a
It's pretty
thing. I'm just
fun.
kidding. Yeah, so we met, and I don't know. Michelle has a talent for making fast friends with, I think, just about everyone, and
Yeah.
so we became fast friends. And we were interested in the same things. I think it was like around 2020, everyone picked up their skateboards again, and we wanted to skate. But the skate park is a scary place, I think, for anybody, not just women. And so we started skating together, and that's
Where's
kind
the
of
skate park at in Ogden?
it's right by the Lauren Farr swimming pool.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's where it all really kicked off. But Jess is like my right hand woman. Has been there since the start, and kind of like my person I bounce all my ideas off of. She shoots ideas at me. But yeah, has been.
So this is a
has been
club.
Yep.
Are you applying for nonprofit status?
Yeah, so that's the end goal right now. We're just trying to work through. It's from what I hear, it's a long process. Can take up to a year. So we're just trying to get our finances in order so we can afford to go into that endeavor. But yeah, like the Rose Club isn't a traditional club where you have to like join. It's just kind of a show up, and you're in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really not hard.
So what's your?
Just like you're in. You're in the club. you know?
Everyone's in the club.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
We're in the Rose Club.
Like
I don't know if you know
Great.
this.
Well, you
Right.
guys are one of the gals now. You know.
One of the gals.
I always wanted to be. This is good.
Welcome to the club.
What's the big vision for this in the future? Because this wasn't the job you had dreamed of, or is it? And then,
Yeah, I mean, definitely not what I ever thought I would ever end up doing. But I think it's something that kind of came across my plate, and I was like, wow, I really feel passionately about this. And same with Jess. And
why is that? What attracts you to this club and
You
supporting
started
women?
it then?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the biggest thing is just like I feel like me and Jess have similar childhoods, like where we grew up and we were always the tomboys of the group, and I think you have felt that same way as well. And we always were trying to prove ourselves to the guys, and always trying extra hard, and never really had like other women that we could do things with. It was always the dudes. And for me, growing up in Ireland, there was never anything like skateboarding or obviously snowboarding. And that's something like I always would see on TV and be like, oh, I wish I could do that. That'd be so cool. And then even coming out here, when I first started skateboarding, there wasn't really anyone that I was skateboarding with. And it's fun. It's great riding with the boys, it's awesome. But they're just at a different level. And you're just trying to learn how to push or ollie or. And then I kind of figured out there was like a few other people who were doing the same thing. And I went to the skate park actually at Laurenfar, and there was a few local girls that were there. And right as I walked in, I was kind of sheepishly hanging around watching Austin get after it. And they actually approached me, which I was nervous, and they were younger than me. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, welcome. Like, what are you doing? What's your name? And I was like, wow, that was such a positive experience that I had from these local girls that came up to me. They didn't know me. They didn't have to come up and say hi. Mm-hmm. And they did. And I think that's kind of like what inspired the Rose Club is having that sense of community, or having that sense of, friend group when you go into a skate park. I think one of the main things that the Rose Club like tries to do, and something that we really push for other people who are in the Rose Club, is when you see somebody enter a skate park, just go up and say, hey, ask them what they're working on, ask them how long they've skated for. It's as simple as that, because I think sometimes like just walking in the gate of a skate park can be pretty intimidating. And there's been many times where I've even gone to Salt Lake, had my skateboard, and been like, I don't even know if I can get out of the car. It's like pretty intimidating. People are like so much better than me, and it doesn't seem that inviting. So that was one of the main things with the Rose Club, is I wanted to change that and make sure like, hey, when you skate with the Rose Club, it's a group who actually care about you and want to make you get better and want to make you feel welcomed.
Yeah, good. I grew up like a lot of kids skateboarding. I was pretty heavy into it junior high. Yeah, and then you get into high school, you get this thing called a driver's license, and the skateboard goes away. Mm-hmm. But my kid is now trying to skateboard. So how and that I've run into the exact same scenario you're talking about, only with kids, because he's 8. Mm-hmm. And you go to the skate park, and all the kids are older, and they're all using language he hasn't heard. Well, he's heard it from my lips a few times, but also he heard some things we don't talk about.
Times.
Yeah, a few times. Just a couple times.
Oh my gosh!
But the content was the surrounding content the kids were talking about was definitely different than what he hears at the house. So there's that when you go to a skate park, mm-hmm. And then there's just the fact that the kids who are probably in their 20s, are really good. Yeah. And my son, who's 8, is trying to learn how to go down a hill. Yeah. So do you encourage kids as well to join the Rose Club, or is this adults only? Like, how does this work?
I'll let you go for it, Jess.
Everybody is welcome. I think that like...
Alex?
Yeah, we're talking about you, Alex.
I think,
Well, what's funny is when he said, "Oh, you're gonna have some skateboarders and snowboarders on tonight," I'm like, "You couldn't have found anybody more opposite than me." Like, that's okay. I love you guys' story. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I love all of this.
We're gonna get you at the skate park here soon. This summer, dude. We'll get you some Vans.
Okay.
We'll go to Crossroads. We'll go to Crossroads.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that something that we've heard a lot from people that have come and rode with the Rose Club is just how inviting the environment is. Like, I've experienced walking into a skate park, seeing women, and it still being kind of, not very
catty.
Welcoming.
Women are catty. Is that what you're saying?
Some people
not
are
very
catty.
Welcoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of men come to the Rose Club events and just say that they've been intimidated to go into a skate park too. I think it's just it's an environment where gravity rules, and to be a good skateboarder, you like really have to own it, and it takes a lot of respect. And so to be owning it in a skate park feels really good, I bet, for the people that are doing it. So, so for the people that come to the Rose Club, it just can be such a nice, inviting experience to be able for anybody to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, you know, like your son is 8, right? It's gnarly to go because you're trying to find somewhere like, hey, I want to get better at skateboarding. Skate park's super, you know, there's like dudes killing it and there's skateboards flying
Tray
everywhere.
flipping right by you.
I'm intimidated.
Yeah.
Right.
For God's sake. He wants me to take him to Crossroads because it's indoor, and I'm like, but he wants me to skate with him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem because
Right.
I know just enough to get myself in trouble.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't go to these these kids are so good. I feel goofy. You know?
And that's why
Yeah.
like with the Rose Club we started and we did like in the summers we do Saturday skates. So we usually do them at 10. They go to like 10 to 12. But that's usually a pretty good time in the morning where it's still quiet enough at the skate park where there's not, you know, a lot of the skateboarders aren't up yet. So the park is pretty quiet. But also, like, we kind of, when we go to a skate park, take up space, you know?
Yeah.
We kind of, like, hold our ground and this is
You
where
have
we're
to.
going to be dropping in. This is where we're going to be
Yeah.
rolling. If you got an issue with it, come talk to me.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to have an issue with you.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Not after that look.
Not after that look.
Yeah, you guys know.
No.
You guys
But I did notice, so I took my son to the, what do you call it, the North Ogden skate
Yeah.
park, which I like.
Yeah, it's great.
And guess who shows up? Tristan, to film probably the best skateboarders in town.
Yeah.
And they did. They took over the park.
Yeah.
We had a little section on the side, but I actually knew them, which is wild because I didn't think I knew any skateboarders in town, but I knew them, and I'm like, and it was respectful and it was great, and they sort of stayed out of the way because we were with like a posse of kids,
Yep.
you know, and they didn't want anything to do with us, and we didn't want anything to do with them because they were clearly really good
Getting
and had their
after
own
it.
lines and
Right.
everything, and so. And that part was cool, but I did notice how if a group good enough shows up, they can dominate a park pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like sometimes when we arrive at parks, like we do this annual skate trip to Montana, and we do the Evergreen Parks. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Evergreen Parks. They're awesome. You should look them up.
Look
But
them up.
they're just like these parks that are built by this one company, Evergreen. I think it's Evergreen
Yeah.
Skate Parks or something. But they build these like undulating parks. Like there's no real edges. They're just like
nice.
rolling hills. But they're really awesome. So we'll do that trip.
Like Ireland.
Yeah, it just reminds me of home. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, we go to these parks, but we'll show up and there's like 25 of us, and you know it's pretty like it's a pretty big
That's a
statement.
crew,
You know,
yeah.
like you have 25 women just come out
Yeah.
of nowhere. You know, in
Yeah.
these small towns in
That's when
Montana.
Alex and I grab our skateboards and walk off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. There's strength in numbers, and I think that's like the biggest thing about the Rose Club is we just want to make sure people feel like they can have access to spaces like the skate park or snowboarding even. Like Jess and I are probably more snowboarders than we are skateboarders, and that's something we're really passionate about. And what we've been trying to focus on these last 2 years is trying to get people to the mountain. So we work very closely with Powder Mountain, who've been awesome, and we do cheap ride nights up at Powder Mountain. And it just allows people who've never had the opportunity to ride at these mountains, you know, the opportunity to go up there. And if they need gear, we're always encouraging people to hit us up because we either have the gear or we know somebody who does have the gear.
Yeah.
And same, we just had a ride day last Saturday up at Powder Mountain, and it was awesome. We had 79 people register for the event, which was
Whoa.
insane to us.
Incredible.
We were like, we planned and we were like, oh, we'll have 12-ish people, all our
Pancakes, hot
friends,
dogs, and they were
just low key,
Yeah.
And then we saw there were 79 people. I was like, oh my god, this is insane.
Incredible.
So where did
Insane.
that word get out on? Then
Just Instagram, I
Through
think.
Instagram?
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. I feel like we're starting to like feel like, the word is just spreading naturally now, and we're not having to put in as much work. Like we'll put out something and then it's spreading. And we have a lot of people from Salt Lake coming up, to ride with us, which is really cool. But
So as a group, as a club, how do you stay non-clicky and open?
I think the one thing that we always preach, and it's something that I think Jess and I just are naturally like this, but we don't have any time for drama. We stay out of it. We encourage a lot of the Rose Club people when they are at the skate park without the Rose Club to go up to people, say hi, ask them how they're doing, ask them what they're working on, if they need any help, just that kind of thing. And I think like the people that are in the Rose Club are definitely the biggest asset to the Rose Club.
Absolutely, people showing up. And I think we've all experienced cattiness. We know what that is like, but we also know what it's like just to be genuinely kind. And Michelle, myself, if anybody comes up to us, it's just kindness and literally stoke. Like growing up at Powder Mountain, riding with only dudes, Saturday was just also so healing for me. Like riding with such a badass group of women is so fun. We're all like on the same level, trying the same tricks, jumping off the same stuff. It's just so fun. So I think that stoke and that energy comes through
in everybody,
in our kindness, but also in everyone.
Yeah, which is cool because like I feel like that's, you know, sometimes that's not the easiest, but I think just that's a really, really big part of the Rose Club is just promoting being kind to people. And that thing, if you see somebody enter the gates of a skate park, we're kind of aggressively nice. Like sometimes I'm like, we are aggressive with the niceness. Like we are like, come hang with us. Like, you know about the Rose Club? And I feel like they're probably like, whoa, this is insane. Right. But I feel like that's a way better way to be than the opposite, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's definitely helpful.
Is there a pledge?
Absolutely. No, just kidding.
I didn't know what you had to do to be a member.
Just don't be
Don't
mean.
be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I was allowed to say that, but
yeah. You can say whatever you want on this podcast. Todd, you got any questions for these lovely ladies here in studio?
Well, I do want to plug one thing that I'm sure the ladies are familiar with, and that is so a project that I think we talked about it a few episodes back that I started with a few friends called Salty Magazine. Anyway, we had one of our contributors, Ian, which you guys know well, I'm sure.
We love
wrote
Ian.
up a nice piece about the Rose Club and one of your trips up to Montana, I think from a few years ago.
Yep.
And so you can find that amazing article and some really awesome photos on salty-mag.com. And then there is a chance, and you heard it here first, that piece might make it into a print piece that we're trying to work on too. So.
Exciting.
But it's a really great story. Like it really is you have such a great story. Like I fell in love with all of you guys just back when I heard about you through Ian. So
yeah,
well, Ian, we love
huge
Ian
supporter.
so much.
Yeah,
he's great.
Ian is like the
and
backbone
McKenna,
of the
who wrote
Rose
it,
Club.
did so good.
Yeah, McKenna is
What's
awesome.
that?
Ian is the backbone of the Rose Club. Ian's been at all the Rose Club meets, I think, since the start, and Ian is a big part of like the Rose Club's reputation. I think anyone who meets Ian, I feel like feels welcomed in and feels like they're a part of the group. And I think that's a credit to Ian's personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's
he does not have an aggressive vibe, that guy.
Absolutely not.
He's the best, but he's also such a shredder. Like
have you guys seen Ian skate?
Skateboarder, amazing snowboarder.
Oh, there's been some. Yeah, he's really good.
No, I saw the
insane
photos. Did Cam do a photo shoot with him?
That was amazing.
Those photos are
Beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, Ian's the best. But yeah, that was the Montana trip that was in that article, and that article was super special to us. And the drawings, Ian passed around a notebook, and we all got to draw different pictures that represented that trip, and those made it into the article, which is pretty cool. So we were stoked that Salty Mag did that.
Do you have any events coming up you want to plug, or how can we follow the Rose Club?
Yeah, well, one of our next events is we're actually partnering with Ogden Avalanche on the 24th and 25th. We're doing a Backcountry 101 class, which is definitely geared towards anybody who kind of wants to get into the backcountry who's never done it before. It's very cheap compared to some of the other classes that are out there. And if you guys want any more information on that, just go to our Instagram page and click the link in the bio, and you can sign up for that. And then one of our big events of the year is the Backyard Jam, which is up at Powder Mountain, March 11th. And that's, if you haven't been to it, you should go to it. It's a great time. It's good vibes. Usually there's sunshine. But yeah, it's awesome. It's great. But yeah, same with that. We're going to be posting about that very soon on our Instagram with more details on how you can sign up. And we have a website. It's like www.the-rose-club.com.
I bet if you just Google it, we'll find all the things we need to know.
I think so. Hopefully,
Okay.
we're like the
Yeah.
first.
Oh,
result
one
up
last
there.
question, Brandon.
Yeah.
So late night at IHOP, what do you guys talk about? What's your like 5-year plan? What's your 2-year plan? Like, how would you like to see things sort of shake out? Because I'll tell you what, I worked out in Salt Lake. I live in Ogden. I'm involved in both places, and Rose Club is word of mouth. Like you can't believe, and you probably have an idea, but even further than what you might think. And so I'm sure at this point you're trying to be a little bit strategic about some of your decisions you're making. And so, what do we have to look forward to? What can we all collectively do to help?
Yeah, wow, big question. I think the next thing that's like the biggest thing on our radar is getting the nonprofit status. That would be huge for us. We've been working with a lot of bigger brands, which has been really fun because bigger brands mean we can have bigger impact in what we do. I think the same thing is true. We just want to get more people into these spaces and just create more welcoming spaces.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add too. It's just the feeling that the Rose Club gives to us. If we can have more people experience that, and again, just to reiterate, that's women, non-binary, trans, men, we are not just a women's club. We are female focused.
Absolutely.
Because they seem to be a minority in these spaces, but yet it's really, really for everyone. So sharing that feeling that you get when you do come to an event, and I encourage everyone to come to one of our events because it is visceral. It is such an experience that you have to feel. And so, yeah, other than what Michelle said, just growing that feeling and that impact, which we
just
have
putting on more events, I think, right? Yeah, the events have been like the biggest success for us because it can reach out to like that many more people. And then, ways you can support is just resharing our events and getting the word out. We just want to see more people involved.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast.